Let's hit them. Sure. There's been a lot of talk at the minute about how there's supposed to be a state of play coming up. Now whether there is or whether there's nae, them bloke does they can. But I would still like to offer up some suggestions if anybody from Sony others have to ever stumble across moi. Deeply unlikely, I know, for I am just a tiny pitiful little YouTuber with very small numbers. You could say that. Anyway, here's some things as someone who's owned a PlayStation 5 from day one, who was first in line and has the PlayStation love. Little things that I just think me and my fellow PlayStation 5 users would kinda like to see. You know, some of them are very much me, some of them are just things I've seen people discussing online and things I've heard from other gamers that I've spoken to, you know, on like live chats and stuff, and some I've just, you know, spoken to on the bus or whatever. I'm quite a chatty chappy, as you've probably noticed over the last few years while I've been doing this nonsense. Okay, so one of the things I've missed since PS3 days, went away in PS4, I'd like to see it come back, video chat. And now that we can do the whole picture-in-picture thing, I mean, recently, me and my mate Dave, we did a thing where basically, in the top left-hand corner of the screen, we were both basically able to do screen share, where it was like a private stream, and I could watch his gameplay of what he was playing, he could watch my gameplay of what I was playing, both of us with a tiny version of it in the top corner of the screen. I had it in top left, Dave might have had bottom right, who knows. But the point is, it was plastered there, and I could see what he was playing, he could see what I was playing, and we were talking to each other about the two different games we were playing and whatever else crossed our minds. This were two gamers wanting to have a blather. So if you could do that, why not video chat? You know, have your pal up there in the top left hand or right hand or bottom corner, whatever, you know, or middle, you know, top middle, bottom middle, side middle, whatever. Have your pal there on the screen, your two yous have a wee blather together, you can see him, and sort of like maybe even share YouTube clips or whatever. That'd be nice. It's sort of like, boom, there's your pal, you're having a bit of face to face while you're kicking somebody's face off. Could be fun, could be useful. At very least, you know, it's a bit different. And, you know, we've had picture-in-picture technology for a very long time. We've had video messaging for even longer. And now, in 2021, with the advent of stuff like Zoom and Discord and all the rest of it, video conferencing tech is at its best, as good as it's ever been. In fact, it's probably at the best it's ever going to be for a wee while, till we get the next series of protocols and the next kind of compression down that makes it even nicer and even smoother. Okay, so video conferencing, that would be lovely. You know what else would be lovely? Game gifting. You know, if you got a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 4 and you have a mate who has not got the game you want to play, but you've got a bit of spare cash, so you decide to buy him the game or buy her the game. You know, you buy your pal, you know, the game that you want to play with them. You know, just like if you feel like being generous to them. So say they're like, you know, you play the latest Call of Duty, you know, like you play the zombie mode, and you really want your pal to join in the zombie mode. And you go, well, I've got to spare 50 quid this month, you know. It's like I won it on the horses, or I got a good scratch card, or I just happen to be a bit flush. You know, take that 50 quid, dump it into your PSN account, buy your pal a copy of COD, get into that zombies mode together, and push, on away you go. Or even better still, if you're like a YouTuber or a streamer or whatever, and you want to give back to your fan base, you can run a wee competition, and you no longer have to worry about the postage of a game. You can then give that game directly to that user right then, right there. They win the competition, they give you the PSN, you give them the game. Boom, like that. No bother at all. How's them apples? So game gifting, yeah. Or even voucher gifting, it's like, say, you want to give somebody a prezi. And in these COVID times, I don't know why I used the bad word, in these Voldemort times, if you want to give somebody some PSN credit, you generally have to PayPal it to them, and then they spend the money from the PayPal and get the thing. But you want to give them a direct, like as a proper prezi. Go, hey man, I know you really looking to buy that game, I can't help you entirely, but I can give you a bit of money towards it. Then woof, fire off some PSN credit, then like maybe 20 quid. Now there is a thing where somebody say, oh, this could buy things and this could be gambling and whatnot. It's like, I'm the legal expert, but there might be a teensy weensy bit of that, but I think on the whole, anybody looking to use that system would use it in the way that I'm intending. I think that's pretty safe to assume. You'll always get some people that knacker everything, but that's just humans being rubbishy humans. Tell you what else would be useful though. What would be really useful is like this YouTube, right? We all love YouTube. You're here, aren't you? What's kind of annoying with the YouTube? On PlayStation, it doesn't matter if it was 3, 4 or 5, or even on Vita. I can't remember if the PSP was able to, if it had a YouTube app or if it could do YouTube. I think it could do YouTube, but I don't think it had an app. It's been a long time since PSP, so I don't honestly remember. But here's the thing, doesn't matter where you were on it, even if you were back in the day before the PlayStation app on PlayStation 4, if you went it through the web search, or even on the PS3, I think it might have been through the web search, you could do YouTube that way, you couldn't comment. YouTube without comments? Are you high? Come on, Sony, sort that out. If you're going to have a YouTube app, God let us hit leave comments. Now thankfully you're able to actually put things in favourites and in folders and whatever. Like when you have collections. I have a series of collections on my channel. I've got collections of like anti-Christmas songs. I've got collections of old TV programmes and stuff, and some music videos that are in particular selections and stuff. Which is a good thing to have. I thoroughly suggest that particular functionality of YouTube for your good selves if you don't want everything to be ended up in your favourites and be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling forever. So yeah, being able to comment on your PlayStation on YouTube videos. That would be very, very handy. Actually, as a YouTuber, there's some things that could be done. Now, don't get me wrong, I am very, very happy that there was Share Factory Studio came along to be the upgrade to Share Factory. Here we are, in the splendour, got the green screen up, I'm making it happen. Still waiting on the frame for the second green screen so that I can be a little bit closer and a little bit sharper, but good things come to those who wait, so you are the good people, you'll get your thing eventually. But it would just be nice if a number of things could happen for us content creators. One, a companion app. So then if I'm doing real world shoots of photos and a video, I would no longer have to go to my computer, load it up from Dropbox, then turn on the computer, drop the Dropbox files into USB stick, take the USB stick to the PlayStation, then from the in from the PlayStation, drop it directly into Share Factory. Oh god, it's just so tiring. Just let me just dump the things automatically. If I can dump files from my phone into Dropbox on the computer, then have a Dropbox functionality or a straight shoot through right from a companion app, Share Factory Studio phone app, to Share Factory Studio PlayStation app. You know? And do that with, you know, that I can make my thumbnails on my phone. I can send my thumbnails from my phone to my station, then link those thumbnails to the video for the upload to YouTube. Have you any idea how much that would speed it up? Because generally right now what happens is while the video is uploading to the YouTube server, I'm basically there on my phone hammering away making a thumbnail. If I could make the thumbnail, you know, before shoot the video, or just after I done shooting the video, then make the thumbnail and then load it straight onto the PlayStation, then load it all as a winner, and I have to muck about with the settings on the YouTube editor and in the video studio, and put the bits together, and is this going to fit here, and just make it all happen in a winner in one place. But here's the one thing that gets me on PlayStation 5, right? As far as I can tell from the videos I've been doing this last little while I've been making videos on PlayStation 5, they seem to go on slower. Seriously, it takes longer to get a PlayStation 5 Creator Studio YouTube video onto the YouTube server for me to do stuff with than it did on PlayStation 4. This is 9th gen. Supposed to be a smoother, better operated, you know, PSN network. This is meant to be the next gen. This is meant to be better. Yet, as far as I can tell, maybe I'm wrong, but it feels, at least, like it's taking longer. That shouldn't be. Have a word with yourself, Sony. So yeah, faster, more flexible YouTube upload, download, comments and all the rest of it. Make that happen. That'd be lovely. And this camera here, like this camera, but it has to be said, I think it could be sharper, but it's still a decent camera. I mean, it is an HD, so I think it is definitely better than its predecessor. But the predecessor, I could do more to sort its angle. You know, it was a bit more posable. This one feels a little less posable. But I think a lot of that could just be changed by a bit of firmware. I think you need to update your firmware for the camera, Sony. I really do. Because you saw in that last in a couple of videos ago where I was saying about how for this it works lovely. I mean, you see the green flecking? Nah, it's lovely. But recently I've been trying to stream on PlayStation 5, and when I stream on PlayStation 5, I've just got this horrible green flecky mist behind me, and it looks terrible. That's why first night when I streamed, I thought, you know what, I'm done trying to stream on this PlayStation 5 for the now till it gets sorted. So I went back to my PS4 and I streamed Blood and Truth for a couple hours. By the way, play that game, it is awesome. So yeah, sort out the streaming chroma. I don't know why, it's the same settings. It's the same settings for the chroma for all the things. So why it's not working, I am none the wiser. See what else. Sometimes it doesn't feel as easy to get at things on the UI. Sometimes it feels like there's extra steps that don't need to be there, or that it's not completely transparent in what you need to do to get to where you need to get to. I mean, some of that's learning curve, yeah, but in some cases there seems to be some stuff that was easier to do on PlayStation 4. You know, but they've got to try new things. But for some reason, it doesn't feel that it's as revolutionary a UI as what the boys from Sony were saying before the 5 came out. I mean, remember about 2-3 months before we actually got the launch date of the system, there was all the talk about like we're redesigning the UI from the ground up. It'll be a completely new thing. It'll be a revolution in UI technology, and it's nice, and it is better, but it's not that much better. Not a revolution. It's just smoother and a bit faster. But there's obviously the learning curve, and I think till we all get past that learning curve, we're all going to have niggles with it. I mean, and there's other little things that have come around here and there. I mean, we are still doing the copying and the double copying to get games on the system. You know? It should be faster. It shouldn't have to do double copying. We've got this SSD now. Now maybe that's just when I've been playing mostly PlayStation 4 stuff on my PlayStation 5 while I work down my back catalogue. You know, I've got some PlayStation 5 stuff, I just haven't got round to it yet. And as you know, I recently got myself a Watch Dogs Legion, but the PlayStation 5 version. And of course in a few days I'm going to get my hands on Destruction All-Stars. Looking forward to that. So I'm kind of hoping that when those games are being loaded onto the system, those PlayStation 5 specific games, that they'll load onto the system faster and won't have to do the double copying thing. But as long as we're talking about loading things onto the system, we have to talk about memory. Now, all of us out here in PlayStation land, we all know, and we all, what's the word I want? We're all kind of cheesed off with the amount of memory we've got. I mean, 500 gig. It's not big enough. It really isn't. You know, most people, if you ask them what they thought the PlayStation 5 would come out with in memory before we knew about the SSD, right? Everybody's like, oh, it's going to easily be 2 gig. Yeah, I mean, not gig, sorry. 2 terabyte. It'll easily be 2 terabyte. 2 terabyte, 2 terabyte. Aye, it'll be a 2 terabyte system. Loads of games on it, but the games will be a bit bigger, so you won't get as many on, but you'll still get more on. It'll be a 2 terabyte hard drive. You want my words. That's what everybody was saying. Even some of the journals were like, oh yeah, it's got to be a 2 terabyte hard drive. Come on. Well, what did we get? Oh, we got a 500. It's like, oh god. But then again, when you think about PlayStation 4 when it first came out, 500. You had the ability to upgrade the hard drive, and I did. It's like I bought a hard drive at the same time as I bought my PlayStation 4, and I upgraded the hard drive straight away. So from day one I went up to a terabyte. Now admittedly it cost me 46 quid to do it, but it was the best, one of the best moves I ever made, because I never ran out of space, or at least almost never. There was a couple of things I had to shift things about and sort of like delete things, but those games I was done with anyway. So it was just to have a good kick at the bum of like, oh, Zemblock, you got this game here, you didn't really need it, get shot of it, so you can have this one. So it was a good way of keeping myself honest with what I was actually playing and what I was probably never going to play ever again. So, you know, terabyte did me well. Now admittedly, yes, if you want to, for PlayStation 4, you can go out and buy a 2 terabyte drive, and you can even go and get an external drive, and that could probably be like an 8 terabyte or whatever. You know, you go nuts with storage if you want to. But what we're really asking for is, we know that we're able to put in that extension unit. I mean, they made the outer casing in such a way that you could easily, take it off, slap in that extra memory module, you know, and away you go. But where are the details? Where are they, Sony? I feel like Vincent Vega here with the coat over his arm. Where are the details, Sony? You know, what companies are doing them? What are the prices? Are there different sizes? When will it be available? When will the firmware come in so we can actually find out what today? You know, it's all fair, well and good, giving us the ability to get into the system. It's literally one screw to open up a thing, you put the thing inside, you screw it back in, you slide the thing back on, Bob's your uncle. But it's naked having it if we didn't actually have the details and know what to buy and where to buy it. And please, almighty gaming gods, I still have 95 quid in my game account. Let me buy it from game. Okay, I've got that money sitting there just for that. You know, I left that money in there as leftovers from the amount I'd saved away for PlayStation 5 because I knew there was extendable memory, so I made sure to get a little bit more money in there so I could buy that from game. Now if that's only going to be available from, like, you know, Curry's PC World or Argos or whatever else, then that's obviously what I'll have to do. I'll have to save up that money all over again, and that cash, you know, can go to either like a charging unit for my pad or like more games or whatever, you know. So, you know, that money will not go to waste, don't you worry about that. But it would be nice just to be able to use it and either to buy or to buy along with some other money that won't take me as long to get together to, you know, get that extended memory, because, you know, games are memory hungry little beasties, and I'm gonna need that extra space. We all are. Obviously a lot of people are out there going, but they just hurry up and make more of these things and get them out into the world. Thing is, it's only been putting them out, but the bots keep nicking them, you know. And we just had a thing over here where, like, one of the shops, I think it was Argos, was like, oh, we're getting a bunch of PlayStation 5s, come buy your PlayStation 5s, and the bots were, and the thing is, Argos came in and went, right, that's suspicious, delete those sales. Unfortunately, I think they deleted all the sales, so the few people that managed to get in there and actually get one on the up and up, I think, possibly, now, if I'm wrong and you're one of those people, and you see this, then type me down below, tell me if I'm right or wrong. But I believe those people as well also lost their PS5s. It's like, nobody won. The only thing we can hope for that I spoke of in a recent video is that eventually there will be enough PlayStation 5s coming out from Sony and people can buy them, and then there'll be so many in the market that the scalpers will have all these PS5s sitting in their warehouses or houses or whatever else, or in the garage, on the back of the transit van, you know, sitting there gathering dust, no making money, and they're going to have to sell them at cost, or even better yet, have to sell them cheaper than what they bought them for just to get them off their hands, so they don't, you know, go to the poorhouse from having spent, like, you know, several £1,000s on getting like 30 units in one fell swoop and hoping to make a, you know, a vast amount of money on selling all these PlayStation 5s that they can't shift now because there's actually a decent amount of them coming in. So if you don't mind no having a receipt to take it back if it breaks down, which it probably will only do, but you know, you always like, I like to have a receipt, I like to have that peace of mind, that's just me. But if you can live like that and you want to pick up a PlayStation 5 for, say, like 50 quid off, fire on in there. Hopefully fairly soon that'll be reality, because most people know well and true know to buy from a scalper because they're scalpers and they're scum, and they'll make you spend over the odds for your PlayStation 5 or whatever else is the hot button item at that time. Alright, so hang fire, they're coming, they keep trying to get them out, don't let the scammers win. They can buy the systems right now, but if we all had done, those of us that have not got our PlayStation 5s, had done, because eventually those things are going to drop in price in their hands because they're going to need to get shot of them. So don't worry, I know you want it now, but didn't give them the satisfaction. Didn't give them 600, 700 quid for something that's technically only 450. Didn't go there. Right, what else did we want? Let's see, what else did we want for PlayStation 5 that we've not been getting? At this point, let's see. A little bit of a roadmap on some of the future games would be nice. An admission that some of the games that have been slated to be coming for PlayStation 4 as well, I think it's high time that some of those games didn't. And my reason is Cyberpunk 2077. Look, because Cyberpunk 2077 was spec'd for next gen consoles and spec'd for PC, and it runs okay-ish on next gen consoles or current gen consoles depending on your preference, but runs barely. It's a nice way to put it on 8th gen consoles. On the 8th gen consoles, your PlayStation 4, and even your PlayStation 4 Pro, your Xbox, and your Xbox Series X. Ooh, it's not good. It runs horrible. Frame drops and dropping through the environment and textures not loading. We've all seen the videos. We know what Cyberpunk 2077 looks like on 8th gen consoles, and it ain't pretty. And that's why I think the next few Sony titles that are coming, that we'll all be led to believe are PlayStation 5, and some of them are PlayStation 4 as well, that dream needs to die. Okay? Horizon Forbidden West. Let's just have that just be purely PlayStation 5. Okay? And any game that's using, PlayStation 5 functionality, like DualSense stuff and that, and is reliant on the high speed SSD. Let's just not bother doing it that way, shall we, lads? Come on. Let's get real here. Yes, okay, we want to have the inclusive nature. Everybody can play. But at some point there has to be a realistic expectation that not everybody else can. I mean, inclusivity is one thing. But, chopping a game off at the knees, so it can fit into the shorter trousers? Yeah, no. It sounds cruel to my fellow gamers who haven't been able to get to this level. But if we make big games fit on smaller systems, that harms the games and that harms the experience. If like Cyberpunk had stayed only on 9th gen systems and PC, there wouldn't been half as many "oh god, look at that" videos. Just saying. So I think there's very much a case for games that are meant for this gen to purely come out of this gen alone. From a graphical standpoint, from a network standpoint, from a sales standpoint. Yes, okay, we'll sell some games on PlayStation 4, like, the Miles Morales game is on PlayStation 4, and apparently it sold quite nicely. However, it does have to be said that it doesn't have the same ooh factor, and that is a problem. Games gotta be shiny, games gotta be new, games gotta have some ooh to it. If it doesn't, that harms it, even if it is Spider-Man. That's my what I think. I mean, I can only think what I can only think. These are my beliefs. Your beliefs are different, obviously. And if they are, typey down below. I had a billion other thoughts to this. Unfortunately, it's like getting kind of late here, and my brain is fried. I haven't even played today yet. I've mostly just been doing stuff for the family. So, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm sure you'll think of other things that you could put in the comment section and tell me where I'm right and tell me where I'm wrong, and probably one or two you will probably call me something offensive and whatever. Hey, it's engagement. A down vote is still a vote. It's still engagement, so I'll take it. And I need those subs. So the more I'm viewed, the more I come up on people's suggested feed, and hopefully I can see a little bit of subscriber growth, because it's been a little stagnant recently. So that'd be nice to see some growth. Anyway, I've rattled on quite long enough. I mean, this video is pushing like half an hour, I think, by now. Okay, guys. Big love to yous out there. Look after each other. And I'll see you in the next one. So, hashtag support Scottish YouTubers. And of course, as always, aye, nae bother.